Grant, do you feel the pressure of living up to your dad in the same way that Kyle Shanahan feels the pressure of living up to Mike? I like that question. I think that's a good question. I think I used to. And I think the fact that my career wasn't taking off a little bit sooner, there was some bitterness I had when I was 28, 29, 30. It's like, I'm not going to be successful like my dad. Like, I played myself. I thought I could do what he did, and I can't. I'm just not as good. And I think that kind of affected my job and my mood. But now I'm doing my own thing. I'm not comparing myself to my dad anymore. I still write, but I'm doing my own thing, and it feels good to have my own lane and niche and something that I've created. Kyle isn't that. Kyle really is doing exactly what his dad did, and his dad has 2 rings, and Kyle has 2 losses in the Super Bowl, and I think it's very hard for Kyle. He does a good job to try to compartmentalize it and, coach in the moment, but I think that's a monkey on his back that I don't have. I don't have that. So
I agree.
I think it's harder for him. I think it's harder for him.
I think you're going to go further than I ever did. Farther, whatever it is, than I ever did. And I want you to. I want you to kick my butt.
Well, we'll see. But S. Thompson, that's Hunter. Is that Hunter S? It might be Hunter S. He's dead, but it could be the spirit of Hunter S.
Are we done with questions? Or is there another question?
I don't see any more.
Because I'd like you to tell a story.
Okay.
There was a time when we were in the Niners locker room during a midweek practice. And I'm going to say there was a gentleman who is, I'm not going to name, either in television or radio. And he said something rude to me. Mm-hmm. And you heard it. Mm-hmm. Tell him what you did.
Okay.
In front of the whole team.
No, I'm going to say his name.
No, I don't want you to. Please don't.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna hold on. So this is what happened. This dude does an impression of my dad. Okay.
That's too close.
And it stinks. It's not a good impression. It's not. It's just not. In fact, it's kind of racist. So these 2 guys, he has beef with my dad. And there was something like, I don't know what the occasion was, but we were walking in the locker room and he was walking out. And instead of actually saying something to my dad and looking him in the eye and being, tough or brave or courageous, he just made a little noise that was him doing my dad, like his impression of my dad. It's like the Saul Rosenberg impression. And then he kept walking. So what I did, I heard that, and it seemed like the weakest move of all time. Like, you're bold, but you're not. So I yelled in the locker room for everyone to hear, "You're a freaking word that starts with a P," as loud as I could. And all the players heard it and watched me, and he heard it and didn't react and kept walking. And so everyone on the Niners knows that that's what he is.
Yeah. He almost started running out.
Yeah. Hey, you're a freaking P word, as loud as I could. And he didn't have any. It's like, hey, do you want to disagree? Do you want to talk about it? Come over here. Look me in the eye. And he wouldn't do it. I hate that guy.
Like about 60 players there who saw and were looking.
Yeah. Yeah. So I haven't seen him in the Niners locker room since then. He's a tough guy, though. He's a tough guy. Hey, and if you're watching and you disagree, come see me, buddy. I got a lot to say about you. Let's make it public. I'm not going to say your name, but if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. I have a lot to say about this guy. I really like him. And, he's just tearing the Bay Area up these days. He's terrific. He keeps getting better. I really don't like that guy. I'm glad we talked about him, though. And I'm sure everyone knows who it is, of course.
You don't mind that I brought it up?
No. That guy, one day, I'm going to air out all the
One day.
But not today. Hey, if you're watching, it's coming, but not today. I'm going to make
one day.
I'll be yo-yo. The sun rose blood red over the, what was it?
Over the mountain?
Something. I don't know. When I was 2, I memorized a book called Abiyoyo, and I used to perform it for my parents' friends at parties and stuff. And they all think he's genius. He's genius. He's so smart. And it turns out I was. It was the Abiyoyo test. It was the Abiyoyo test. Whoo! I got worked up there for a minute. And it's nice to know that I still got some bullets in the chamber for later down the line. Later down the line. So if you're watching, look forward to that. But I'm talking years down the line, because I don't want to. I want to look forward to that. My dad and I both love Westerns, short stories. We love Elmore Leonard. Elmore Leonard in the 50s wrote a bunch of short story Westerns, and most of them are about revenge. And there are a lot of times it's like a kid who was taken advantage of, or, something was stolen from him. His dad was killed. He was put in a position where he needed to get revenge, but he couldn't get it yet. He was only 14. He was only 17, and he had to wait 20 years. And it's like, is he going to forget about it? Is he going to let it slide? No. He finally gets the shot. You know, something happens, and the guy's right there. And should I give him mercy? Should I turn the other cheek? Hell freaking no. And it's a very Jewish thing. Like, no, it's an eye for an eye forever. That's how we do it.
Oh, yeah,
I love that.
Absolutely. I feel that way. There are a few people till the day I die. If I had a shot, I would take it. And I want to remind you.
A metaphorical shot, not a real shot. Please, YouTube. Don't.
No, I don't mean, of course, I don't mean killing.
Come on.
I mean, get even. Yeah. Yes, get even in some. I don't mean anything violent.
No.
But thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
The shot is metaphorical. I would take my chance, and if I could even score somehow on the same level, I would. And I want to remind you that, you know, my book that's out now is Gloves Off, but I just finished a memoir about my life, and it's called Revenge in a Minor Key, and it's all about revenge. Revenge is a very underrated emotion and act.
Absolutely. And before we leave, I'd like to leave you guys with the image of maybe a 19-year-old me coming home from college, really upbeat and energetic, putting on a rap song, sitting my parents down in the living room and saying, guys, listen to this. And maybe even printing out the lyrics and having them read along. Picture that and laugh, because I really did that one time. I thought I could sway him, and it didn't work. And
he was so earnest. You would have thought he put on Beethoven. You got to listen to it.
You got to listen. So good.
And we loved the movies. It's just really great.
So good.
And then he left the room. My wife and I looked at each other and said, what was that?
Yeah, the thing was, when I first got to UCLA, I didn't think I was going to be a sports writer. I wanted to be like a DJ or something. So I got a radio gig at UCLA Radio, and as a freshman, and I had like a rap show. And it was not like there was no radio frequency on FM in Westwood. It was internet radio, which meant no one listened to my show except for my parents. So they would tune in every week, and I would play like my favorite rap songs of the week. And they'd call me afterward and like, "Oh yeah, it was so good. You were so good. Really good job." Like, guys, thanks for listening. I know you hated it, but you guys are really nice parents. Thank you so much.
Tell them about your partner.
So my partner was he was another intern. We were interns because it was our first time, and he was like a 50-year-old Japanese guy who had been a DJ play. I think he'd actually been a play-by-play announcer in Guam for like cricket or something. His name was DJ Jerry. And he had this great radio voice, real deep. He had a lot of personality, and he was really into like the Beatles and the Stones. So I would play like a couple rap songs, and he'd be like, okay, now it's time to do Mick Jagger. And he would talk. Remember that time he was really excited to see the Stones live in concert, but Mick Jagger had laryngitis. And he was like, can you explain to me what laryngitis is? I don't understand. I was so excited to see this. Like, I'm sorry, man. I mean, he's a little bit older. He's a 70-year-old singer. What do you want? Sorry, DJ.
You know, whatever happened to DJ Jerry?
I don't know, but I'm sure he's in my inbox somewhere, and I could email him and see what he's up to these days. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been a while.
I think we're beginning to drift. The last thing I want to say is thank you for watching. And Grant, I'm going to see you at 5 o'clock when you're going to download a
Can't wait. Looking forward to it, Dad.
Smile.
Oh, yeah. With pep in my step. That's right. You're going to do it, and you're going to like it. I can't wait. All right. I'll see you and Mom later.
Well, I'll call you in a minute.